Want to play a game?
I'm always down for a game. You know
I've
me.
got a movie for us to watch. I'll give you a couple hints and you try to guess it.
Great.
Hint number 1, Denise Crosby. Your favorite.
We have a history. Okay.
Hint number 2, Evil Burial Ground.
Okay.
Hint 3, like a creepy small child.
Okay. You're making this too easy. I'm very suspicious. This is obviously Pet Sematary.
No. Dolly Dearest.
What the fuck is Dolly Dearest?
Alright guys, here we are to talk about the movie Dolly Dearest. 1991's Dolly Dearest. Lee, had you seen this one before?
I had not seen it. I had not heard of it. I think I had seen a box that did not look like this box, with like blocks and like a doll and a knife maybe or something.
That is a box.
So I think this might have been another one of the long list of fragmented fever dream memories I have in my head of movies from like being in the video store as a kid, and now I can finally add it full movie style into my head.
I had seen this as like a younger child, so like I didn't remember much about it.
Yeah.
But if you would have asked me when did this movie come out, I would have been like, oh, like late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
This for 1991 like feels like, I'm like, what did you film this on? A time machine? Like
extremely
it feels
strange,
so
right?
old.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it has a good look. I enjoy the look of older movies, so like it had that for it. But like something about the film they must have shot this on, it feels like a time machine movie. Like
yeah, it's very strange,
okay.
and it does feel like other movies. Several other movies that we'll get more into in spoilers, because that was my thing. If I had seen this movie on drugs, I'd have been like, we have to go to the hospital, because I feel like I'm watching 10 other movies at the same time. This is like destroying my brain. Again, though, a little tease for later.
Yeah. So what is your non-spoilers thoughts of it?
I thought it was okay. Like, it's bad, but I thought it was like fun, and like for the reasons I'm kind of saying, it's a fun little trip into like what was going on in '91 in terms of like doll horror.
Yeah, no, I do agree that this is not a good movie. I do think it has some very interesting visuals. I love the doll. I love its walking and how its hands move, like super creepy. And I'm not even 100% sure how some of those shots were done, because I'm like, well, even if it's a guy in a suit, I'm like, they're very creepy, and the way they move, like, I'm like, is it stop motion? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to know. I want to assume they actually got a doll possessed by Satan to be the star of this movie.
The doll is the highlight here. It is the star of
Yes.
the movie, right? A lot of the other stuff around it is very lacking and kind of like a jumble of tropes, but you know, I am happy to have seen it. I will never watch it again, and I do not recommend it.
I will recommend this movie because it has the most ludicrous plot, if you can call it a plot. That it is a funny horror movie.
Okay.
It is good for a solo watch. It is great for a group. If you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. And if you have, follow us over to spoilers.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, here we are for the spoilers on Dolly Dearest. So, Lee, give me your spoiler-filled thoughts.
Yeah, I think the only way to enjoy this is as a caravan of tropes and stuff. We'll probably hit them all eventually if we keep talking about the movie for long enough. But yeah, especially based on when it's made, because part of me is like, maybe this is the lesser-known movie that the movie I'm thinking of is ripping off, and it is not. It is absolutely not, right?
No.
All those movies were made in like the 70s.
It looks like it would be, but it is not. No, which is very strange, because this is filmed in the 90s, but does not feel like a 90s movie at all. It just by how they don't explain things, they just jump into things. So the movie is about a family that moves to Mexico, where they're taking over a facility where they're going to be mass producing these dolls to sell in America. And the facility is just like a shack.
We're here.
They end up with this amazing house, which makes you think, how did that other part fall apart so badly? Like, it seemed like they said the state of Mexico is like thanking you for being here. So you think it's gonna be this huge, like, Costco-sized operation.
This is a letter from the city of Capala, officially welcoming you and wishing you prosperity in the opening of the Dolly Dearest manufacturing company.
But it's nothing. It's like a dilapidated building that looks like it would fall over.
they didn't really have some stuff too. There are certain times where it has to cut from one place to another, and it does this weird like audio, and then she's just there, right? There's a very weird cut at one point, especially where it's like, where are you going? And then there's just audio of her saying, I'm gonna go to the convent to visit what's her name. But and you're like, okay.
Oh, Senora, where are you going?
Camilla said she has a sister in the convent. I want to speak with her.
So I think that location's something else where they were like, is this it? Ah, fuck, I don't know, film it from like low or something. Make it work.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like, we run through this thing where you have some like great practical effects.
It's time to play.
And then just like weird shit.
Oh, goody. We're going for a ride.
And I like that because it's more fun to watch with weird, interesting practical effects. But sometimes they're just for the sake of having them. Like there's one part where a doll's tongue is just sticking out and wagging about.
That's it. I'm getting out of here.
And I'm like, what even is this? But even the nature of what the movie is, you have a tomb that gets uncovered. That is, what are the people's name? Like the satyrs. Or
so like I screwed up in my head. It's not the Santanistas or something like that, but like and then
something.
And then Rip Torn's like, that means Satanist.
Sanzia means Satan on earth.
Sounds fascinating.
Or something like, okay, great, thanks a lot, buddy. Right.
Rip Torn, who is he supposed to be playing a Mexican guy?
He's doing something.
Because sometimes he's just Rip Torn, and other times I'm like, oh, he's a little tanner. Okay, he said something with an accent. Is that like how an Italian guy with no accent goes mozzarella and like he just says some Mexican things like that, or is he supposed to be a Mexican guy? Because if so, it's the worst appropriation I've ever seen.
It's very funny.
Son, the sign up there says no passe. It means this entire area is off limits, so please take a hike.
Might as well have been the guy from Sliders. That guy being like,
kinda.
Oh yes, it's Mayan ruins. Yes, we gotta go.
So like his buddy was just at these ruins and died because a door like fell on him.
Because there's like an ancient temple like 10 feet away from the
the
shack where they make dolls.
Jimmy!
Mr. Estrella, what is that? What's going on over there?
That is Mayan ruins.
And I guess that's how it would happen. You would uncover something.
You find it where you find it.
We just
right?
found this thing.
Yeah.
The thing about that was almost more annoying to me than them being 1 foot from this doll factory, which is just like a warehouse, was he has like a winch to knock down, like to pull the door down.
Yeah.
And the winch is like not attached to anything. It's not like usually you'd see like, oh, it's a winch on the front of like a truck and they're backing it up. This is just a winch sitting on the ground that under the weight of the winch itself is pulling the door down.
Spinning, yeah.
Yeah, like how that would work in reality would be it would just get pulled towards the door. Like it wouldn't pull the door down. But it does, and it like rakes down on him.
I don't care about reality, but opening that door lets the spirit out, which we see some
Ghostbusters-esque.
Some old effects that I like though, with like the red thing or whatever, and then that's just our like opening, kind of like the Exorcist. One of the one of them is like, we're digging in some weird place and the spirit, right? But then like there's a whole part in the movie later where I want to call him the guy from Sliders, but I'll just say Rip Torn again. Rip Torn is like getting into the temple again, and then when he finally really opens it, then it like seems to do something or nothing. I don't know what happens at that point. It's crazy.
Did something happen? I don't remember anything happening.
That's when things get like kicked up a notch, and like then like there's multiple dolls, and
I just thought that was the natural progression of it. So like something that annoyed me throughout the thing was like in the beginning when they first are investigating this doll factory, the young daughter sees one of the dolls and goes like, oh, I want that one.
I want that one.
You got it. My first sale.
And it is possessed by the devil, Satan, whatever. And I'm like, oh, there should have been something like where like the doll fell or something that like, because like, what are the odds she picked the one that was possessed by Satan? Spoilers, they're all possessed by Satan, and there's this great little like, I'm doing this and that, but like for being the devil, they're really just like pulling childish pranks, and they can be killed relatively easy. I don't know how they were the scourge of this Incan society.
Like they're trying to get reborn. There's a whole backstory. There's way too much backstory.
They don't play into
way too much
really any of that though, because they get killed very simply by like getting shot or exploded.
If you destroy the doll, which for some reason works.
Dead.
And I like originally it has like a goat head and it's a corpse, I think, right?
Yes.
So I don't know why
it was.
even
I think they
possesses
said
dolls.
it was born a like half goat, half person,
So-
and they fed it blood to give it power or something.
Yeah.
But then eventually it grew too powerful, and they had to imprison it in this tomb.
Like Naruto.
But like usually you hear that and you're like, oh, they must have had magical tomes and things written on this thing to trap it. But knowing what we know about how easy they kill the dolls, I'm like, no, they just probably just trapped this baby in a box, and that was all it took.
I don't know how the possession and like the goat baby go together really. I'm like I expected that little girl to be like tied up to something and for there to be
Yes.
dolls around her
and then
trying
like
to sacrifice
Chucky
her.
themselves out of it into her.
Yeah, something like that.
She does speak in like evil, like
Tongues.
deep voice. at
I'm
one
gonna
point.
kill you now, mommy.
Yeah.
I'll kill you! I'll kill you if you try to separate us!
Whoa, be true with your voice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, something's happening, and it is following this rules. You almost thought there was going to be something with another temple or something underneath the doll house in the backyard, because it always forces her to go back there, but there's seemingly no reason, because they could have just talked in her bedroom, they could have done this. There was no...
It's all just FaceTime for them to get to know each other better.
There was no plot to get there. It was just like, we have this cool dollhouse thing. We should probably film it more. Okay.
Eerie
That's
dollhouse.
fine. Yeah, I guess it's eerie. But like, furthermore, for why this is like outlandish almost, is that the doll is powerful. It does have like telekinesis or something, because it can make the door just not move. Like the door's locked, but it has no lock on it. The door, like it is holding it using some sort of force.
Yeah, there's
power.
no fucking, so like unless the doll was physically holding the door.
Yes, which
jumped
it
back.
wasn't.
Jesse, open up the door. Jessica?
Or at least it's not shown doing that. So you're to believe that it has some sort of satanic powers, but lets itself get bested by a family of idiots. So,
do you want to talk about the ending? I feel like that's
well,
worth
the ending.
the
Yes,
bookend
we're
here.
Definitely going to talk about the ending. The ending is
because we get
illusory.
we get to the point where we have to like fix the problem in every movie, right?
Yeah.
We don't kill Rip Torn. We don't kill much of the family, right? We don't really
kill any of the
kill
family.
too many people, right? So we just end up throwing sticks of dynamite around the doll factory.
Yeah.
We don't have time to run a wire. The longest fuse is the minute. Place it and move on to the next. We'll line the inside perimeter.
Take the right, I'll go to the left. We'll come down the center to the door.
Perfect.
And in a lot of movies, we have a problem because they fix the problem in the movie, and I go, that wouldn't fix the problem, but I'm just being nitpicky. Here, I'm like, what just blow up the whole factory? And
I
like,
wasn't even sure.
The dolls aren't
exactly
even
what they were
trapped
trying to
there.
display. It seemed
Yeah.
like, because how abruptly it ended, that they missed something or lost footage or something, because you see them go around, they're like, we have 1 minute on this fuse, so quickly spread it around the factory where the dolls are trapped or whatever.
Right.
And they're running around, spreading them. The dolls are pulling the fuses out of
we
these,
see them
out of these
stopping
bombs.
them from going
and,
off,
and granted, dynamite is very explosive, so if one did explode, it could potentially trigger the other ones to go off, because fire and whatnot. But what seemed to trigger the whole thing was the doll locks them in the warehouse with them, and they use a small explosion to blow up the door. And the second the door explodes, they run out, and then everything else starts to explode.
Oh dear!
But it seemed like a one-to-one fuses were pulled out of all the things they threw in the first place.
I took it to be that they were defusing some of them, but they had
not all
done
of them.
so many or something like that. But it's such a weird ending because it's like how they defeat them doesn't tie into anything about them.
No,
like how about
that fire is their downfall or anything? They're from hell.
Or we use dynamite to have a cave in, and now they're back in a tomb again, right? Cool.
Well, the little boy does do that for no reason, but he does do that.
Mom, get back! The pit's gonna blow!
Almost to trap them so they can't go back to their tomb, because he just throws a stick of grenade, a stick of dynamite in there and blows up the tomb arbitrarily. It doesn't really get played up. It happens off screen.
I may have been mentally checked out by that point, so I'm not sure if I caught that.
It jives.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that this dynamite that is able to kill Satan doesn't even actually level the structure. It's just fire. We're good.
Right. That's what I mean. It's we're not even yes, we showed that if you destroy a doll, it seems to take it out of commission. That that's great. But there's even a thing that they're trying to lower the dad into. right?
Yeah.
They're like putting him into some like saw spinning thing, right?
I think that's
from the movie Saw, not a saw. It's not a saw. It's like a lathe or something crazy.
I think it's a
vat of like mixes the plastic latex or something.
Blender, yeah.
Yes. So like I was like, oh, they're gonna put all the dolls in there, and they're gonna get all ground up or something later or something like that, right? You keep thinking, oh, the movie is showing me this for a reason. Later, something's going to happen with this. It does not happen, right? We go visit a nun. We go talk to all these other people. None of this matters.
Yeah, the visit to the nun seemed really weird because once they're on board, they are fully on board with it's obviously Satan. It's
the only explanation.
And maybe I blinked and missed it, but when she comes home from the nunnery, the little boy, who's not that little, like, what is he, 13 or something? Yeah. He's in the closet, and she's like, what are you doing in there? He's like, I saw it, the doll talks.
It can talk.
What are you doing in there? I'm hiding. Where's Jessica? They're in their room. Ma, you gotta go look. The doll talks. I saw it.
Did they show it on screen, him seeing the doll talk?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, yeah. Okay. I'm glad that it didn't actually happen because I was like, that would have been a fun scene.
No, like he was creeping around. There's a little bit of like a tables are turned where like the little sister is like, no, fuck you. And he's like, yeah, no, totally, fuck me. Gotta go.
Mom said you should take a nap. But that's okay. You don't have to if you don't want to.
And like that sort of shit. So you imagine him then trying to figure out what's going on, and then hiding in the closet, like
because the mom almost sees it talk but doesn't.
Yeah.
And then like once everything goes down, she immediately believes it though. And I'm like, it would have been nice to show her seeing it happen, or anything.
Okay. You needed like a whole bunch more in that vein. I'm going to talk about that now.
Sure.
Because I on like an earlier episode mentioned the like step parent thing, the stepmom thriller thing or whatever. This like they even do the daddy's little girl thing where like the girl turns on a dime and says, "Daddy, mommy's being like mean" or whatever.
Daddy, mommy's trying to take Dolly away from me.
But this is not a like stepmom thing.
That's her mom.
Where she's trying to earn her like affection, and it's like hey, she's being difficult. Just bear with her. No, I think something's really wrong with her. No, stop it. But they just do all that as if that's the dynamic. But they're just like a normal family where like people can be angry at each other, but it does not fit the same way. And we don't develop this long thing of like, hey, you two were the only ones in the room. I, as like the busy, stressed out dad, think that the mom must have done this. The mom's saying no, it was the kid or the doll. Oh no, the mom's crazy, and this triangulation.
Yeah.
But right, that would have been.
They don't play it up nearly enough.
That would have made things work that you're talking about, where you go, oh, good, right?
Yeah, it didn't really even get that level played out, where there wasn't enough of the stressed dad. It seemed more like it was an old school business model, whereas like, no, the dad decides, runs everything. He's going to uproot the whole family, bring them to Mexico. The mom is a stay-at-home whatever who's always shiny and like super shiny.
And it's like, oh, water main broke, gotta go anyway. Talk to my kid. He's always on the run. He's always doing his thing, right? Yeah.
And the kid is like, none of the people in the family are likable.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have that going for either. Where you're like, oh, this one, oh, he's a wise, like
The son is okay.
The son is played up to be the mouth character from Goonies, but only sometimes.
Yes.
Where he's like, oh, I'm a quick talker. I'm this. Oh, I'm a smart ass. Oh, I can be your assistant. Hang on. Zoop.
I wanted to be prepared for when you got here. I mean, you being from the university and me only being in 7th grade. I just didn't want you to think that I couldn't handle the job, because I can. I can handle the job.
What job?
Your assistant.
He has the kill shot line, right? Or he's like, play with this or something, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, he eyes her up and says, play with this, bitch. Okay. And then shoots her.
Play with this, bitch.
But holds a shotgun in a way that I'm like, I feel like he would get knocked back. I would have liked that. I would have liked really anything more to be played up in the fun angle, because they do things unintentionally that are fun. So I thought they could have done more on purpose with the other characters. Like the dolls just scaring people and doing things.
Oh man, the first time, because for a while you don't know what's gonna happen. It's been like 20 minutes maybe, right?
Yeah.
And like you see like the doll's hand, and maybe you're gonna see like a wide shadowy of like the face or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then, and like the back of the box kind of ruins it. But then you see like a full-on Chucky, rah!
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and I was so delighted by that. And I thought, oh, we're gonna get like a crazy movie with this doll, and it just doesn't kind of go the places it needs to go.
I like there's a night security guard who's just like frying up like, what is he making, a taco or something?
Is that the thing?
Señorita, they say you join me for dinner, eh?
I thought he was like using that to like melt something to do something to a doll, and he was like the doll guy.
He doesn't work. I don't think he works in the facility.
Okay.
I think he's literally just a night guy because he asked like, "Hey, you want a burrito or something?" to the guy. He's like, "Oh, that sounds great, but no, thank you."
Mr. Wade, you join me in a burrito?
Oh, sounds good, Luis, but no thanks. I'm gonna be getting out of here soon.
And I'm like, okay, and he leaves. And that guy like dies of fright or something. And then there's some weird visuals because his hand goes into a sewing machine and it gets him pretty good. And he rips it out. And then he falls to the ground and like rips his shirt open dramatically.
Triumphantly.
And maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looked like a fist or something was under his in his chest, like moving around.
Yes.
But they don't show that or make that make any sense. So I was like, wait, is it not inside him? Is that his heart? Is he comically like having a heart attack?
like he put on the mask from The Mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's another thing that I think indicates this is kind of like a hatchet job of like trying to put stuff together. Because like there was no like he didn't like eat something that then is grew into a doll, right? There's no setup for this
and
at
they
all.
are just trying to scare him to death. Because like do they actually say boo or something like ah as they pop out between boxes and he's like
something.
ah.
Surprise!
And then has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's humorous. It's in the same scene. Oh no, is that what is the mouth tongue thing? That's the little boy.
That's when the boy's walking around.
Yeah. So the scene before that is when it's just they're jumping out and just scaring him.
Yeah.
And there's just stacks of empty boxes.
Yeah,
and
so
grab a ladder.
So like the warehouse has some of these good scenes mixed into it, like you're talking about, because they have more than one prop, right?
Yeah.
And like the usual technique is, well, here's my wide prop, here's my tight prop, here's my prop where the mouth moves a lot, right? And they had the wisdom to be like, have the like little girl or like little person in a in the suit way in the background, but then in the foreground have the mouth prop go ah, and like pop up, right? So you could see more than one at the same time. You kind of get the sense that there's
certain things work nicely.
So like later when it's all the same prop cutting to over and over and over again, you still get sold the idea that there's a bunch of them, right? And when they kill the one, you're not like, we're good, right? You're like, no, we're not good. They think they're good, those idiots.
How is this happening?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, Mommy. I kind of stay here for a little while. Dolly's like my friend. I'll leave the door open. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mommy. It's just that Dolly's the only friend I have, and I don't want to lose her. Can I stay for just a little while? I'll leave the door open.
And then just closes the door.
I didn't catch that, but I know that scene because of the whole like turning on a dime, right?
Yeah,
apparently the
I
doll's
like that
talking to
because
her.
that is creepy.
That is creepy.
I wanted because at a point she cuts her hair to look more like the doll.
What did you do to your hair?
We cut it. Don't I look like Dolly now?
Yeah.
And I wanted the ending reveal where like the doll is in the chair or whatever. I wanted it to be her in the chair, dressed in the doll's clothes.
Yes.
I wanted that to happen.
I don't know why that didn't
It seemed like they were
happen.
building towards that,
Yes.
but it didn't happen.
Instead, we get treated to dialogue. She's inside me now. That's how it works, apparently.
Where is she? What have you done with her?
She's in here with me. She belongs to me. You'll never get her back now. We're together forever.
And you're like, what does this mean? And like the daughter's like over farther away, just looking at her mom all weird, right? Yeah, there's no. Does she even have like a term where she's like, Dolly is mean? I'm sorry. Like, we don't even have time for that, right? We just go straight for the. Yeah.
Snaps back. The movie kind of really just ends abruptly because after the explosion, there's one line. Does Crosby say something like, "It's over,"
Like,
or
wee lads, and then
some shit like that? It's like directly to credits.
I think it's over.
It's not even like them like with a for sale sign in front of their Mexican house or something. Like it's literally just ends the second the explosion happens. There's room for one line and we're out.
Yeah, it's very abrupt.
unsatisfying.
Yeah, there's no like, oh, here's why this is a good ending, guys.
You wait here. I'll be right back.
Who do you think the worst actor was in the movie?
It's a toss-up. The dad, like major actors. Like
Sure.
The dad and Denise Crosby are both very bad.
I think the dad is
Takes the cake.
like he shouldn't even have been in movies.
Any movie.
Any movie.
He was very bad, yes.
He delivers every line as dryly and like as if he's not in that moment at all.
Look at that. Fabulous. Every little girl in the world is going to want one of those.
That's his character. You see, he's consumed by his work, so he can't react to what's going on around him.
Don't you see it?
No, I don't see it. I see that you've changed. What you're saying is completely irrational.
I want to get her out of here. I'm afraid for her. I want to take her back to LA.
Marilyn, we've invested everything into this factory. We can't just pack up because our 7-year-old is having a tantrum.
One of his first lines is talking to the daughter about like, I'm your dad and I make dolls and you're just going to be the best girl ever who makes dolls.
A terrible line.
Well, so like I was like, okay, like that's just how he talks to his daughter when he's using his like soft dad delivery. But
And you are going to be the only little girl in the world whose daddy makes such beautiful dolls. Won't we have fun? We are going to be such a success.
Yes, he then continues that. So every line that he says sounds like he's just talking to a child.
Like you would talk to a dog.
Yes.
Who wants to go for a walk?
Wants to go for a walk.
I'm looking for my son. He snuck out of the house. I thought he might be here with you.
Jimmy, my assistant, the explorer? No, I haven't seen him. Ha! Yet.
Yeah, no, he was like a low point because he needs to be that. There's no like conflict or tension between anybody either. Honestly,
no.
They try to insert some, but it is not really there, right?
How about the son running from that dog? I'm like, what is happening here? And then somehow the dog got around the fence and he breaks the sink.
When he broke the sink. I was like, are you just fucking with me now, movie? What's happening? Because he comes in through the window, breaks the sink, and now that's a thing we have to do. Like it's a video game. Where like now we have to like go turn the water off and stuff.
I'm impressed that he even was able to do that.
I'm impressed that they had us do all that, and then the fact that that the water's not on doesn't matter at all, right?
Yes.
Did I make that up?
No, well, it didn't matter at all.
I just thought of that now, and I'm like, wait, that could have been a thing where they like need water and they can't get it because they turn off the water.
Or like, you know...
the fire, right?
Yeah,
the fucking thing.
Or the dolls are like, the sprinkler system... How do you know what sprinkler systems are? We know all... What I wasn't sure of when he goes and turns off the water, the doll tries to kill him by swinging like a hook at him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if it was just that by turning the crank, he dodged the bullet, or by turning the crank, he missed it, and did the crank actually hit it, and that's what turned off the water? Because he didn't seem like he was strong enough to do it, and I wasn't sure. I know it helped him not get hit, but I wasn't sure if it actually helped him at all.
Yeah, he just kind of like falls because he's trying to pull it so hard and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Meh. Something else that I thought that they fucked up is the nanny / house whatever housekeeper lady. This is the trope of like the usually ethnic person who like, oh, I sense great evil in this house and all that stuff.
Today I spoke to my sister in the convent. I think it's best that you find someone else for your house.
Oh, bienvenidos! Oh, hell, viva la Mexico! Yeah, there's all these like weird things, but her role here is supposed to be the like suspicious one who sets everything up, right? And they do that, but then so like they should have found her body in the basement later. Right? You can't have...
Like she just left?
Yeah, because she says, I have to go find like a different place to work, right? And that's my, cue later to be like, oh shit, the doll can like kill her now. Because they'll be like, she must have left. She just left in the night. She left her stuff in, in the room while she sounded very upset. Oh man, whatever. And then you find a dead body later as things are ratcheting up. And that is your like trigger to be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? You're not saying that our daughter killed killed her? Well, I don't know anymore, Bob. Everything's crazy right now. You have this great like trajectory. They find a body, they call the cops, they do all these things super early. It's like a very bad choice.
Yes, and by having her get stabbed, there was no. How did you write it off as, oh, she just got electrocuted? She was stabbed in the arm.
Yeah, she must have fallen on this, like, whatever, leather punch, and then that made her fall into the, pool full of electricity.
What even was that? Was that a sub pump? What was that supposed to be?
I don't know why
that's a well?
I'm not
is that
sure.
Their septic tank? What is that? Open standing water?
Yeah, where there's just a pool, like a tiny pool.
And the way her body shoots out of the water when he's like, oh, something must be blocking the plug. Ooh! Yeah,
it's like she's like a like freeing Willy just came up out of the thing.
Hysterical.
Even her death of like her like weird like I'm dying from electricity thing was super funny and cliche.
I didn't look up how long ago the Mayans were, involved, but they made a point multiple times to say 900 years ago this tomb was from, and I'm like 900 years ago. Something about that just feels really wrong, and maybe it's not, but it didn't seem correct.
That's okay, right? What is that?
I'm not some sort of a historian.
Like 1,000?
It just felt weird.
I don't know when the Mayans like famously disappeared.
Well, and they actually weren't Mayans. They said they were like Satanists.
Oh, it's the Satan Mayans. It's the bad Mayans. Yeah, that time frame might be okay.
It might be.
I'm not sure when they like officially disappeared.
I meant to look it up.
But I think like conquistadors and people went over there and found some of these people. So that feels like 1200s or whatever. Might be the right.
Maybe.
Might fit okay,
Whenever people call out specific numbers, I'm like, I hope they looked that up.
And this movie, I have no trust whatsoever.
I don't know.
Anything else? Any like highlights, good or bad?
One of the best lines is from the security guard. You want a lambada?
Oh.
You want to lambada, no?
I love that. I thought that was really funny. I liked that guy's. I thought he could have done a little bit more than just have him die of random heart palpitations.
Yeah. No, he was really engaging and dynamic. So they gave him a scene where he's all alone for a long time. Yeah. I'm like, okay, sweet, good.
The maid's best line, I think, was like, "Jimmy, open the door."
Jimmy, open the door. I used to be Chucky.
Something about that had me laughing. She's locked outside by the doll with the little girl, and like leaves the little girl alone. She's like, "Wait here. I'll go around the front and let you in."
You sit down. I'll go around the front.
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't she come with you? Why?
Yeah.
That's so like I hate movie logic.
Just so she can die, right?
Exactly. That's a movie thing where it's always like, "Wait here. I'll be right back. I'm going to do this thing that we easily could do together. Maybe even better."
Like, let me go do something where if you were there, you could benefit like me from from whatever I do. I'll come back and let you know how it goes.
I think there are weapons in the basement. I'll go check it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to have a weapon.
No, why would
that would be bad. While we're on it, let's call out. There's a scene. This is one of the little climaxes, right? Where the storm is raging, the body comes out of the basement, the windows smash in while she's running in like her nightgown.
Yeah, poltergeist scene.
Exactly.
Oh my God, she's in the dollhouse.
And then the back door opens, and the daughter is just there, and they just stare at each other for a while.
Yeah, she's just wet, rain coming down, thunder in the background. Yeah, that was interesting enough.
That was a thing. A lot of scenes in this movie that, like the scene that comes after it is not the one that I thought, or I'm like, oh, the movie's telling me this now, and then the next scene would be like, no, I guess not. I guess we're not doing that. It's fine.
Well, exactly. Like that. So it starts off, they get to Mexico and they show this mansion-esque house. You're like, this is awesome. It comes with like a groundskeeper lady thing. Like, this is crazy.
Camilla, what is the priest doing here?
I call the priest to bless the house. It is custom.
Do you want to go check out the facility? Hell yeah. The kids get in, the wife's like, nah, dude, I'm good. And like they head over there.
Fuck that.
And it's just this like a gardening shed looking thing. And you're like, what the hell is this? And he's like, who wrote down the numbers on this? Oh, I did, sir. I copied it from an American business magazine.
The market projections, the inventory analysis, the assessments. Who prepared that material?
I did that, sir. I copied from American business book.
Nice work.
What? So they're not the numbers for this thing. Oh no! I just wrote them down. Why am I here? How much did I pay for this? This is ridiculous. I need to get a lawyer. How are we going to have a company? Oh, well, somebody used to have a business here. What kind of business did they have there?
There's a lot of the story that
you almost want it to be a demonic business or something, like, because
the business was just the front for this demonic.
Something.
They were just studying the temple, trying to unleash the demons.
Yeah, like it could be a From Dusk Till Dawn thing, where the back of the doll factory is the temple, but it just.
Yeah, imagine that. Like some corrupt thing was going on. Maybe it could mirror and like parallel the original story of trying to resurrect this evil god, but then it got too powerful, right?
It seems like
I was able to trap it in a doll.
Because we're trying to take over, like, get all the youth of the world. If we put all of our satanic bullshit into dolls, it'll be close to every child, and we could take them over from the inside and slowly take over the world. Or it could be an accident. How about an accident? We'll do an accident.
I'm picturing a shot of like the Earth and just all these girls holding the doll and just like the Shang Tsung souls just going out into the sky and going towards Mexico. And just like Rip Torn with glowing red eyes is like, finally the prophecy is complete. Yeah.
Rip Torn is like the broke version of like Mexican Indiana Jones. Because like at one point he pulls out a gun. You're like, wait, why did he have a gun? What's going on? Does he have a whip? Where's his hat? He's got a hat. Good.
Those scenes of him talking to, like, he's like tape recording it, I guess, right? He's like talking to himself. I don't know if you ever see the recorder.
You never see the recorder. Okay. You see like a tiny little stick that looks like a microphone that is actually like an air blower machine that blows from like a mile away. He's like, okay, I can see the inscriptions now.
His head is like sticking in like a weird angle, like looking in, and he keeps narrating this super long scene of all this.
Here's the crypt. This is where the Sanzia have entombed the devil child.
We don't even see this original collapse. Like, right? We only see a door fall on a guy, and then a collapse must have happened after that.
Yeah, part of me thought like this was the intro where he like opens the tomb and says, "What have I done?" and then the movie happens. Because the other, I don't know, right? It doesn't. Yeah, it feels weird.
Things are just strung together in a series of events.
Yeah,
and some of them are good, but most of them are bad. Some of the little things are funny. Like I like when they're on the plane over the kid's book. Did you catch what the book says?
No.
The book says why bad things happen to good kids or good children or something like that.
A very important lesson that she's about to learn. She's not, though.
The young boy is reading that book.
Good.
Yeah.
He's a reader.
So it made me think he was going to be this smart Poindextery kid, not this like loudmouth wise-ass kid.
Well, he's kind
of... he was barely both.
He's kind of the, I've also heard of that, Mom. That was his contribution to the whole thing.
I know about the Mayans. They're some sick dudes.
Maya, huh? We studied about them last semester. They're pretty cool dudes.
The boy says something, he has some line like, "It's kind of dark, if you know what I mean." And I was like, "You're talking about a cave that is dark. What do you mean?"
That's something dumb kids would say.
It's kind of dark in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I like it.
If you know what I mean.
I approve. If you know what I mean. He's like trying to be the assistant. He's trying to do the and I can help. They're fucking like divvying up the dynamite, and then it cuts like a comedy cut. It like cuts wide. He's like, "How many do I get?" He's just like standing there like, "None, you idiot. Go hang out with your mom." God.
Yeah, they're putting so much dynamite in their shirt, like his shirt's tucked in as if it's just one large pocket.
I'm down the center to the door.
Perfect.
Can I go? Can I set one?
No, Jimmy, I want you down the hill with your mother.
It's a bunch of dynamite.
Oh God, what a foolish movie.
I have a husband who thinks it's insanity, and I'm inclined to agree with him. But I have a daughter at home who's being controlled by a fucking doll. Now you tell me what the hell that is.
So I think that like the last thing I really have to talk about is like he's obsessed with these Mayans and these evil satanic whatever. So the kid's like, I gotta do more research on this. So he goes to the living room.
Sanzia, cult of the dead.
And in the living room, there's just a series of books that are appropriate to the situation.
He's like,
why?
This, that had extra evil spirits. Oh, Book of the Dead. And he grabs one.
So that further made me believe that like, so when they bought this package deal, the house must have been owned by the doll maker because there's doll shit in the basement. Yeah. So it was a big plan to raise this satanic cult thing into the dolls, but that never plays out. But there's yet books upon this very cult.
No. That must be it, right?
Right?
We must be. Yeah, exactly. No. That's what's missing from the movie is that it was all plot and like the dead guy's not dead. He's resurrected, or he got interrupted in the middle of all of his work. It turns out like Rip Torn's a bad guy. Turns out the dad has been seduced by the devil. Turns out there's some flip. Something happens. Not just like these dolls sure are a problem. Like it may as well be like rats or something. There's no reason for it to even be these dolls.
It would be harder to get rid of rats.
Yeah, basically.
It would.
Yes.
For something that can like like the Fallen, it seems like it could just jump from body to body if it had to. Because what was the thing if it were in a body, this goat-headed child thing, and imprisoned? Why, when it got out, could it leave that dead body unless it has the ability to leave dead bodies to take over another body? It is, after all, Satan. It's supposed to actually be Satan, right?
And why is something? Yes, but why is the doll the best host?
Why is it trapped in that vessel if it went in there? Period.
Part of me thought like nothing else is around, so it's like in the doll. And I too, expected she's wearing the doll's clothes at the end.
Yeah.
It's now possessed her. That's the progression that we're going on.
Yeah,
and we
something.
Did
not. No. So like at the end of the day here, I do think this is still something worth watching, but a lot of it leaves you with questions. It doesn't make sense. Is bad.
I would say as a like cultural study or something, you should watch this. I don't know if I'd want normal people to watch this. Right.
I don't know that a normal person can handle this.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
You look very lovely tonight. Of course, you look lovely every night.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion